A recent article from Screen Rant was titled, "Manga has always been political, Western readers just never realized," and this title alone has sparked the debate once again on the difference between politics and comics and manga. And I'm going to settle the debate right now with one word: nuance. If you can understand that word, you'll understand the difference between politics and comics versus manga. Also, the writer of this article implies that because of the so-called difference in politics and comics versus manga, that is what is making manga more popular. And by the end of the video, I'm actually going to share one more key reason why manga is much more popular currently than comics, and it's got nothing to do with politics and the readers. And today I want to try and do a chill video style where we commentate on the article on the right side of the screen while I draw a page on the left side of the screen for my series, The Girl with the Mega Fist, which will be out on Kickstarter February 2022. Hope to see you there. Okay, here we go. So like I said in the beginning of the video, the key to understanding the difference between politics and comics versus manga is the word nuance. By definition, nuance means a subtle difference in or shade of meaning, expression, or sound. The key word being subtle. So when the article starts off with the following: when Marvel Comics introduced a version of MODOK modeled after then-presidential candidate Donald Trump, many were quick to contrast this to the perceived apolitical nature of manga. A common refrain among some Western manga fans is that the medium's success is tied to its lack of apparent political messages. Despite this, nothing could be further from the truth. A closer look at many of Japan's most influential manga reveals a deep well of political themes, messages, and imagery. And yes, if you look at manga, there is a deep well of political themes, messages, and imagery. But the thing is, manga is filled with nuance and subtlety. Remember, we need subtlety. So when you get comic book panels like this in comics saying, "Oh look, it's Captain Patriarchy, here to mansplain why our principled stand against hatred isn't appropriate," or having a villain question who the new Thor is by saying, "Thor, are you kidding me? I'm supposed to call you Thor? Damn, feminists are ruining everything. You want to be a chick superhero? Fine, who the hell cares? But get your own identity. Thor's a dude, one of the last manly dudes still left. What'd you do? Send him to sensitivity training so he'd stop calling Earth girls wenches? Only for her to punch him and then say, 'The kind who just broke your jaw.' That's for saying feminist like it's a four-letter word creep, and also for the robbing. It's bad writing. Had the writer just stopped out with Thor saying, 'The kind who just broke your jaw,' the readers would go, yes, that's how you introduce a new hero to a villain. But instead, the reader must educate us on feminism, and it's just downright and annoying. And even the villain was just really annoying. Like, come on, sensitivity train. Like, we get it. You're a feminist. And, we want females to be superheroes. I agree, guys. Two of my favorite Marvel superheroes of all time are Black Widow and Kate Bishop Hawkeye. The only Marvel books I buy are Black Widow and Kate Bishop Hawkeye. I think that Kate Bishop is one of the best characters in the Marvel universe, and I really think that she's, not utilized as much as she should be. But once again, what those comic book pages and panels show is a lack of nuance in the writer's writing. We get it, you're a feminist, but do you really need to have characters talking like this? Prodigy? What the holy menstruation are you doing? Where's the subtlety? Or how about The Dark Knight Returns, The Golden Child, with the Joker standing in front of posters of Trump? Where's the subtlety? And also, how does that make your readers feel? Those who maybe are conservative or voted for Trump. Are you saying that they're in line with the Joker? Are you saying that people who are conservative, who voted for Donald Trump at the time of the 2016 election, that they're just like the Joker? I mean, come on. And that's the problem. People are just tired of how comics portray politics. The writer of this article then tries to say that manga does the same thing, and an example he uses is Akira, saying, "In a similar vein are the politics of cyberpunk classic Akira. The manga by Katsuhiro Otomo was a critique of Japanese society in the 1980s. The manga setting, Neo-Tokyo, is a city overrun in equal measures with gang violence and dangerously militarized police force. A key plot point in the manga is the Japanese government's building of an Olympic stadium. Given the absurd levels of poverty and destitution the people of Neo-Tokyo face, the obvious conclusion readers are meant to draw is that the stadium is a waste of money. Beyond that jab at the differing priorities of a government and its people, Akira, who overtly tackles hot-button issues such as youth violence, economic inequality and police brutality. And as someone who has read and enjoyed Akira, he's absolutely right. But there was a nuance to it. There was subtlety in the writing. When you read the story, you actually have to think about the themes of what was going on with all the characters throughout the landscape of the story. And while it might be commenting on Japanese society in 1980s, I wasn't around, so I'm just going to take his word that it was doing it in a subtle and creative way. I didn't feel like I was being preached to. That's the important. I didn't think I was being preached to. The article then goes on to compare how manga has LGBTQ representation and how many series like Sailor Moon, One Piece, and Hunter x Hunter have all been popular with these characters. You're absolutely right. But the thing is, these characters are more than their sexual identity. That's the biggest difference, and one thing comics cannot understand. This is here we go for a hot button take. Instead of using people in the LGBTQ community as pawns for headline news, manga uses LGBTQ characters to progress the story, give growth and development to those characters, and bring a connection to the reader. If the most important aspect of your character, and quite honestly even yourself, is your sexual identity, you're boring, and your character is boring. Manga gives LGBTQ characters substance and reason. Comics just use them as pawns for headlines. Yeah, I said it. And yes, I know there are times where manga has been not as subtle or nuanced. It's gonna happen. But do you want to know the key reason why manga is outperforming comics in sales? It's nothing to do with politics. It's because Marvel and DC Comics are not producing entertaining narrative stories like manga is, and people are getting bored. I got bored. The books just aren't entertaining anymore, and that's the reason so many are jumping ship. When the top mangas are pulling in millions of copies in sales, millions, but the highest selling comic book issues are hopefully breaking 70 to 100,000 issues sold, you can't keep blaming just the politics in the stories. Look deeper. The stories aren't fun. They aren't exciting. If you want me to show you why, I have a video on my channel where I talk about why Netflix shows from Korea like Squid Game and Hellbound are breaking Netflix records as the best for performing series. Western fiction has just gotten boring. The writers are boring and they're not telling engaging stories to keep the readers going. There we go, rant done. So thank you everyone who watched this video. Sorry for the rant. Thank you to my Patreons who make it possible for me to make this video and my own manga. I hope to see you in February 2022 for volume 1 of The Girl with the Mega Fist. Have a great rest of your week and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.